X100, the Tattoos Are Us X100 National Drivers Championship.
Times have been updated, a 39.1 for Phil Smirlick and a 39.4 for Lewis Mills. It's getting closer. We're below 40 seconds now. So I think we've got 2, possibly 3 in the 39s.
Yeah, that time for Borger 38.9, that was what we called a sharp time earlier, and it certainly is showing that. And look at that in Phil Smirlick behind him at 39.1. Interesting to see what that time will be for a previous runner. 39.4, beautiful. Lovely times. Anything under 40 seconds here, guys, is really sharp.
Certainly is. As he's going to go to work straight away. I would have thought he'd go up there and mill around for a while, but he's just taken a wide entry out of the circuit, now making his way back onto the circuit proper. He lights it up and comes down the main street. It's about time. Matt Smith. So far so good. He's made it down into turn number 1. Only one more corner to go. Holds some throttle through turn number 1 and keeps the boat fairly good behaviour wise on the way out of turn number 1. Full throttle now down the back straight. Can't afford to make a mistake. This qualifying is so critical to their starting positions for their heat races coming up a little bit later on this afternoon. Nice tight exit out of turn number 2. Checkered flag will go to Matt Smith. About time. As I said to him in an interview this morning, it's about time you got back behind the wheel of that boat and brought it out.
It looked like a pretty good time. Unofficial at this point in time, he's in the 39, so it was a good run up the back straight. Hombre's heading out there now for his run, so see what we can do. But about time, putting in a good time in around about the 39 second range, so we'll just wait for the official one to come through.
Michael McCardle in the Ombre out there now. Making sure he gets a little bit of time on the engine before he actually puts it to test. A nice, gentle cruise down the back straight. Get a little bit of warmth into it for Michael before he stands on the Ombre and wrings its neck.
It's another guy that's a contender for this X100 National Drivers Championship as well. He's a very consistent and reliable driver, and he's been driving Hombre now for a number of years and has had a lot of success with this boat. He's done the same thing as you just said, John, nice and slow down the back straight to create minimal wake, and he also is going to go on with the business straight away, already heading back.
Yep. Points it in the right direction now, green flag on the wave. The circuit's his to do as he wants now, Vaughan. Let's have a listen as he pounds this thing open on the Ombre here for Friday afternoon for this Sunraysia Spectacular. Nice turn off the back end now as he powers it up and guns it again down that back straight once again carrying a lot more speed. A nice flat drive across the water. Let's see if he can tuck it in nice and tight and point it for home. Off the last buoy, out of the water and on the pedal and hard charging for home.
We'll just wait for our timing to update, but I reckon that's another one that's probably going to go in the low 39s. As we focus our attention down to the boat ramp, and one of the prettiest boats you'll see on the water anywhere in Australia is Mark Schultz driving Artist. As he fires it up and drives away, he's just pumping the throttle there, now he's right. So casting our minds back 2 years ago, Mark was involved in a dreadful accident up there at Berry and put himself in the Adelaide Royal Hospital there for about a week before he ended up flying back to Melbourne. But great to see that the boat has been repaired. Looks $1 million as it did before the accident. But most importantly, it's great to see Mark back racing again.
Was a superstar, didn't he? He was on the news, actually. So it was not a good time to be doing advertising for your business, but yeah, he got his name out there, unfortunately. But it is immaculate. And, of course, we do thank Mark for contributing to being the sponsor here with Tattoos Are Us.
So he might be able to give you one up there in the back of the pit area there, Paul, before you go home. You can get maybe X100 tattooed on your arm, or...
Certain and a very talented man. He is the artist. He's unbelievable. So
there's some of the drawings that he's produced as well. Obviously, you need to be a good drawer to be able to continue that on with the ink, but just some of the sketches and that he has done and crayon work, beautiful. A guy that's very, very talented, and we wish him the best of luck being our National Drivers' Championship naming rights sponsor for 2025. Tattoos Are Us, the artist, Mark Schultz.
Making his way down now into turn number 1. Quite a good little start for him there. Backs off the throttle, nice and smooth. Good little arc. He's gone a bit wider through that particular turn, unlike others who have hugged it a little bit more. Up the back straight now, we'll get a little bit of a look at him. He's on and around the money. He's at the 19-second mark up the back straight away at this point in time, so he's on time for a good one here at the moment. Down the front straightaway now, Mark Schultz getting a little bit rough as he hits his own wash. He's coming across the line, it's a little bit slow. 40.6 second mark for Mark Schultz in the artist. That's the unofficial time. We'll get shortly as the Moonshine now heads out, and this is a very, very fast machine indeed. Ivan Godsall behind the wheel. The Moonshine has taken out many, many, many championships in the speed bracket classes and is an impressive machine indeed. The Moonshine heading out now.
Just got a time through for Mick McArdle driving Hombre. It's a 39.4. McArdle and Hombre. He said Mike Godsall, Moonshine Racing out on the circuit, coming down the back straight now. And you can see that he's using the same tactic. So once the first guy does it, everybody else is now following.
Makes sense though, Vaughan, you know, to nice, gentle water, roll up the end, make sure everything's ready to roll, and then into it. And if it means you've got to do a couple of turns at the other end, so be it, that's what you do. Pick the nice, tight water to run in.
It's got the times through now. Mark Schultz up 40.3. And then, of course, the Hombre, as you just said, 39.4. We've actually got a couple of 39.4s out there at the moment. So it's pretty tight on the leaderboard. It's good.
So I wonder how they will be separated. I'm not up to...
I think maybe they'll go back behind the 0.4 something, 0.3 something potentially. We'll see. Today...
the 3 heats will be running off the times and pole positions, so they actually might separate themselves out by being in the next heat across and in the same pole position. So 14 boats, it's a lot to sort out, isn't there indeed? But here we see now the Moonshine coming down.
Getting a very, very bad run through the chops there as he came across the start-finish line. The boat was jumping and diving all over the place, but he's able to hold a lot of throttle through turn number 1. Now down the back straight. See whether he hits the wakes again. You can hear him briefly get out of the throttle, straight back into the throttle again as he goes down into turn number 2. And it's looking good for Moonshine Racing and Mike Godsell. And look at the amount of throttle that he's held through turn number 2. Opens it up, sees the checkered flag. This will be a good one for Mike Godsell and Moonshine.
You know, Vaughan, I would say, Vaughan, that would probably be one of the fastest times we've seen so far today. That thing stayed in the water, the prop driving beautifully. As we move on to Cut Cat Racing now, boys.
Yeah, there you have it, a 37.3 for Mike Godsell. Blitzes the field, a great run.
Certainly looked very fast, mate. And while the prop's in the water and the thing's singing nicely, that's what you want. Always forward.
It's legal, but that's a super fast time. As you said before, Mike went out. He is one of the favourites. He's won a lot of speed bracket races. But out there now is Steve Rumble and the Cut Cat Racing. And of course, Steve's retrofitted this cockpit cell in with help there from Stephen Scott, of course, after a bit of an accident at Melton, which he said after that, I am going into a cell. And he's come back better than ever in the Cut Cat Racing.
Yeah, the boat originally from a mould from a fellow West Aussie, John Peet, bloody legend in WA speedboat racing and Australia-wide as well. He grabbed hold of some moulds, made some alterations to them, and they've produced many boats. This is one of the most successful of the Peet boats, and you can see Steve doing it. He's on his second circle now, so he's really waiting for the water to settle down. You only get one crack at this. This is Cut Cat Racing and Steve Rumble.
And Steve Rumble now heads down. He actually did get a bit of his own wash, despite the fact that he's done a couple of loops to try to disperse it beforehand. He's gone quite wide through the first corner there as he now heads up the back straightaway. He'll get a time as he heads across the halfway mark. It's in and around the time that we need to be seeing, but probably a little bit off the Moonshine Godsell at the moment as Stephen Rumble heads down now into the turn number 2. He's losing a bit of traction through there, I believe, so may not be the best time of the day coming through.
Oh, you can hear him jump out of the throttle. Just about at the start-finish line there, you can hear him get right out of the throttle there to make sure he doesn't exceed that 100 mile an hour. And we'll have to wait and see. It won't be long and we'll get a time for Steve Rumble and Cut Cat Racing. And it's a 40.7 for Steve Rumble. So that will now determine all of our winners or our grid positions for heat number 1 coming up later on this afternoon.
We're going straight into the 6 litre category now for the National Drivers' Championship. So we've got 7 entrants in for this one. Cranky's going to lead them out with Image coming out of 2nd, Cavs in 3rd, Rastus in 4, Bruder in 5, Sick Puppy in 6, and Lock and Load will be the 7th one out for our 6 litre NDC Championship.
Well, at a moment, I might quickly dump through a couple more of our major sponsors, guys, while we're here. Baldwin Boats, big thank you to Chris and family down there at Baldwin Boats. The Baldwin family have been in Mildura and manufacturing for over 40 years, and they've been building, servicing and selling high-performance boats based right here in Mildura. Baldwin Boats produces custom ski, race and houseboats and serves as a Mercury marine dealer, and the business continues significantly and contributes to the Australian boating industry through engine servicing, marine parts and river recovery services. Big thank you to Chris and the team there. And big thanks also to the team at Transcool Portable Buildings and Cool Rooms. Designs and manufacturing high quality transportable buildings and cool rooms for commercial, industrial and event use. Based again here in Mildura, Transcool's portable offices, accommodation cabins and refrigerator units support on-site infrastructure to major events nationwide. Thanks also to Medex, the Medical and Retrieval Services Group, who without you we would certainly not be running here this weekend. They provide specialist medical support, patient transport and event coverage across Australia. Their experienced doctors, paramedics and of course nurses deliver advanced medical care and retrieval capabilities, ensuring the highest standard of safety at our event and others. And thanks also to the Custom Air Group, specialists in diesel-powered air conditioning systems and sleeper cap climate controls for heavy vehicles. Their Australian-made systems provide efficient comfort without engine idling and use Kubota engines as precision engineered components. Thank you very much to the Custom Air Group, Medex Medical Retrieval Services, Trans-School Transportable Buildings and Cool Rooms, the Gateway Mildura, the Gateway Tavern, Mildura Rural City Council and Baldwin Boats for your involvement here this weekend, and also our naming rights sponsor in GTS Freight Management. Certainly a great list of sponsors from naming and major sponsors, guys, to continue the 2025 Sunraysia Spectacular here this weekend.
Certainly is, and you can see that the momentum that's gaining behind powerboat racing now with the extra or additional exposure on 7 Mate and 7 Plus. And of course we must thank 321 Ignition for all of their hard work over the weekend. Just having a look at our drivers in this one, Bruder, Troy Chirpig. I've got Cut Cat Racing down, but I believe that he's only running one category this weekend. We have Ryan McIntosh in Lock and Load. Corey Marlin in Sick Puppy. He'll be a guy to keep an eye on. Rastus, Steve Rarity, Cranky Dave Freeman, and I think Dave will be first out. Loose Unit, Baxter Ramsey, a name very familiar with powerboat racing, particularly if you live down there in Geelong. He's Tate Ramsey's son, driving Loose Unit, and this will be his second run. He did have one run down at Windsor, but I believe something went wrong and they withdrew for the weekend. So this will be Baxter's first attempt at 6 litre racing, and then Cabs, Brenton Walsh, and Image, Craig Lewis in the Lewis-built boat.
Yeah, we've got, I'm not sure if actually Baxter's having a run. He's not on my list, but he's on yours, so we'll see what comes out of that. But that's okay. So from our X100s, Moonshine with Mike Godsall, looks like he's taken the chocolate, subject to the timing being looked at, and he's 100 mile an hour at 37.3, a super quick time. Then we're into the 38s. So I've just got to look through my list here. I think Nick Borg had a 38. It's just been covered up at the second. Then we've got a couple in the 39s. So we've got the Hombre Michael McArdle at 39.4. We've also got Lewis Mills in the Hypo at 39.4. So very competitive racing in that particular class. But literally the whole field, given that they're 85 mile an hour boats, 95 mile an hour boats and 105 mile an hour boats, are literally covered by 2 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's just telling us how sharp that field is that we're going to see running through the day today and tomorrow, and obviously on Sunday.
So we've got 3 heats coming up of the X100 this afternoon, followed by 2 heats of our 6 litres. So yeah, stay tuned. It's going to be a fantastic Friday afternoon. If you are in front of the TV, go and get yourself some snacks and a cold bevo and have a look, because it's going to be so much fun. And if you're in town at Mildura, come on down to the banks here and have a look at the Mildura Ski Club, because it is sensational. Come and watch the racing.
Yeah, Fast Friday here at the Mildura Ski Club. Then we move into Super Fast Saturday and Sensational Sunday. I hope you can join us for all 3 days of the Sunraysia Spectacular for 2025. And I hope our GP Hydro live streaming clients are enjoying what they're seeing so far. It's only early days, 2 more days of racing to go. As I can see the Cabs boat, Brenton Walsh, being put down into the water. I can see Cranky's about to get going. The Lewis boat already in the water as well. And Craig will be looking for a good run out of this one for Image. And, driving with an injury too, unfortunately. See what happens with Craig Lewis and Image. But in the meantime, it's Dave Freeman in Cranky. Very loud boat. It goes as fast as it sounds. He'll be in for a good hot lap coming up here. This is the Cavs Auto Parts, Kavanagh Auto Parts, National Drivers' Championship here at the Mildura Ski Club. To the milling area now. Pretty much picture perfect weather and water conditions at the moment for all of our competitors. Of course, our National Drivers' Championship sponsored by Battery World. The big forced induction boats, they're not too far away either.
That'll be good to get a gauge here with Cranky to get the first time on the board. So he's taking it nice and easy down there. He's taking a little bit of a different approach and heading down and just milling very, very slowly, allowing the water to settle. Conditions here, as we said before, about 25 degrees, not a breath of wind in this, and it's absolutely ideal conditions for powerboat racing this afternoon.
Screaming from a mile away. Boat. As he comes across the line to accept the green flag, this is Dave Freeman driving Cranky. Sounds like a bit of a misfire there as he turned it into turn number 1. 2 down the back straight. Front of the boat, the bow. Yeah, it's definitely got a bit of a misfire happening there for Dave Freeman. Doesn't seem to be affecting his overall speed as he comes out of turn number 2. Good run for Dave Freeman and Cranky. Exhaust pipe, that is totally normal. That's to try and dull that noise down. Obviously, without that water going through the pipe. Came past.
Well, we've got the time in now, ladies and gentlemen. Dave Freeman has posted a 36.1 to start us off in the 6 litres. As we see Craig Lewis in the Image machine going out. Craig is an extremely seasoned racer in the Image machine, and he'll be absolutely loving this weekend with the Clyde Lewis Trophy on offer for the 6 litres as well this weekend. It's one he'll be chasing down.
Yeah, definitely wants to put his name on his father's trophy. And having a chat with Craig earlier this morning, as I said, he's driving with an injury to his left shoulder. Really requires a bit of surgery, but he's decided to grin and bear it and try and get through. He has come second in his father's trophy on 7 occasions. That's heartbreaking. When your dad's got his name on the trophy, it's one of the most prestigious trophies to get your name on, and you've come second 7 times. So hopefully for Craig Lewis and the Lewis boats, 3 Lewis boats here, Decision, Image and Sick Puppy. They're all out of the same mould. Let's see what happens here for Craig Lewis. What was that time to beat PC? A 36?
36.1 it is, so we're already looking a little bit quicker than the X100 class at this point.
Yeah, 2 seconds quicker already than the X100s, which is only to be expected. These guys running a 6-litre engine. See Craig coming very close to the bank. Don't know what that's all about at the moment. Now he opens it up. Craig Lewis and Image.
Okay, Craig's up the back straight away now, looking quite nice as well. A little bit of a flick out there as he got the power down, the torque going through it at the second. It's a pretty good time to the halfway mark at this point in time. He's running around the 16-second mark, which is pretty quick at this moment in time. Exits the final turn now into the front straight away. We'll get a good time on his. Hammering down to cut the power down. Just off mine, I've got him in at a 34.99, so a good little time there. as Brenton Walsh goes out now in the Cabs machine. And Brenton Walsh has been having some really good victories of late in the Cabs machine, so he'll be coming in very, very confident.
That lap started off really well for Craig Lewis and Image, but just seemed to deteriorate once he got down to turn 2 for the first time there. Trophy, if the shoulder giving him a little bit of grief on board Image. But as you said, another one of our contenders for this National Drivers' Championship by Kavanagh Auto Parts, Brenton Walsh driving Cabs.
Ladies and gentlemen, has got a 34.9 on the official scoreboard, so he's stretched it out by a nice little 1.1 second advantage.
And he could have gone quicker than that too, Paul, if he didn't have that big gunnel bounce coming out of turn 1.
Pressure. So, no, 34.9 compared to Dave Freeman in the cranky at 36.1. So a nice run for the Image.
You would expect Brenton Walsh to go very, very quickly here on this Mildura Ski Club course. And he's now on to his second circle down there in the milling area. Giving time. You can see the waves from Craig Lewis going back out towards the other shoreline across the other side of the river. So Brenton doing the right thing, and he's actually going to go for a third circle. So this is the first time we've seen 3 circles up there in the milling area, but certainly giving himself every opportunity to go to the top.
Right down the main street and go right all the way out of Mildura and come back. But yeah, obviously nothing was said at the briefing about how many circles works you can do beforehand, but now the water has settled, so it's taking his advantage here indeed. As I said, he's been having some great runs. Is Brenton Walsh in the Cabs machine coming down now for his run. So 6 litres.
Beautiful run down the main straight for the first time. Got out of turn number 1, very nice. Applies the throttle, and again the boat looking very, very stable and very, very quick. And as I say that, right out of the water there, that's probably cost him half a second. So hopefully he can get out of turn number 2 nicely, and he does. Applies the throttle, keeps the throttle down, goes across the start-finish line. Brenton Walsh in Cabs, and I reckon he may have done enough to go to the top. Only just, but I think he's got enough in the tank there to go over the top. We'll wait for our official timing.
Coming through now, 34.1, ladies and gentlemen. 34.1 for Brenton Walsh in the Cabs machine, just displacing Image with Craig Lewis at a 34.9. So a good run indeed, and probably could have been a little bit quicker if he didn't hit his own wash up the back straight. Got a little bit loose.
Mate, who's the first to go under 34, do you think, Paul?
But now out on track. Now Rastus, he is very impressive indeed.
Yeah.
Up in New South Wales. So,
possible.
And I had a chat with Steve Rarity this morning. This boat came up to the National Drivers' Championship round at Lockyer, and Steve was gallivanting around the world, so he put his engine builder in the boat, and he actually schooled everybody. Are you feeling a little bit of pressure? I mean, the engine builder can jump in and drive the hell out of it. What are you going to do? And he said, look, he's looking for a good result. Just wants to take the boat home in one piece on Sunday night.
Who knows, Vaughan, that could very well be one of the boats today that caps that 34 and goes into a 33-second pass. Let's see.
Yeah, they've been doing a little bit of practice. I've seen them on Facebook this week with a little bit of practice, some sneakies before they got here, so a bit of tinkering, but there's nothing worse than when you put somebody else in your boat and they show you up. How bad? Oh, not good at all.
No, he needs to have a good run here, otherwise he might have lost his seat permanently, and it's his boat.
Deliberately too. His mechanic probably just detuned it deliberately so he gets the slower times this week. These mechanics, you can never trust them.
This taking a long line out the back, and that's to let the water settle off before he rolls through. Another wide turn out the back there again, Vaughan. It sounds like he's very much looking for flat water.
Want to be turning back very quickly now. Here he comes. We'll see whether he makes a run towards the circuit proper this time.
With these guys, Rastus, you actually want to follow them on Facebook because they do some of the magnificent footage from their boat, from the racing that they do. They're very proud to show it to you. So jump on to their Facebook site, Stephen Realty in the Rastus, because he's got some magnificent footage for you to have a look at the boat in full action. Overlook at the front, overlook at the back. It's excellent to look at.
Well, Steve Rarity opens up the throttles on the Rastus. Run down the main.
Oh, that was fast.
Possibly with that or over fueling, one of the two. Something popped and banged there, but it's cleared itself now. And a pretty settled run down the back straight as well. Hold the foot into it through turn number 2. Had 2 bites at turn number 2. That's going to cost him probably half a second or so. But Steve Rarity and Rastus goes across the line.
I think he might have found it, boys. I think this one will be the first in the 33s.
Paul's got him unofficially at a 33.4, and you're not that far off the mark either. You've got a better stopping finger than Dave Bishop.
Beautiful pass.
Steve Rarity, a 33.3.
Here you go.
Straight to the top in Rastus. So well done. Congratulations to Rastus Racing and Steve Rarity and the guys and girls. His daughter's down there in the water.
I think with the Cavs machine with Brent Walsh, got a little bit loose up the back straight there in his own wash, and I think that just took a little bit of time out of him. So 33.3 has just knocked Brent Walsh up in the Cavs at a 34.1, so that's a pretty impressive time.
That's 0.7 of a second difference between first and second. So there is light years. That's half the Nullarbor plane between those two.
We just got in word here in the X100, a little bit of controversy. We've had 2 teams disqualified over the 100 mark. John, give us the news.
The news is like this. Michael McCardle in the Ombre, disqualified over speed, and Nick Borg in the Performance over speed as well, and 2 disqualifications there for 23 and 24. So it's not a good start for the boys there, let me tell you.
That makes the win even more impressive for Mike Godsall in Moon. He did the 100 mile an hour, and other competitors have exceeded the 100 mile an hour, trying to catch Moonshine Racing and haven't been able to do so.
Yes, we only just found that one, Paul, but certainly if we see anything like that, we'll bring it to your attention. Sounds like he's paddling around up the top there, waiting for the water to settle off before he fires back towards us, boys, but I think any second now we'll see a start out on the water for our next competitor. I can hear it gunning up. We are about to go live again. By the look of a Vaughan.
Sherpig, another guy from the Riverland Powerboat Club over there in Berry, South Australia. Haven't seen Troy since Yarrawonga earlier on in the year, but looking at the boat at the moment is looking very nice. Now it starts to porpoise a little bit as he goes across the halfway mark, down into turn number 2. Can he hold some throttle on here? The answer is yes, all the way, but that's given him a really wide exit out of turn number 2. That's going to cost him, but he's kept the boat nice and stable. Great Sherpig and Bruder. I think that's going to be not far off the money, that one.
Just come in at 35.3. Yep, So Bruder's come in at 35.3. I think his second turn cost him a little bit, carried a lot of speed and went wide through the exit. So for the Bruder, it is a 35.3. So Rastus now still holding true here at the 33.3 as we see Corey Marlin making his way out in the sick puppy. And of course, Marlin with Madness, Warlord, EC Cricket Cup World Champion, just a legendary family in the sport. And it's great to see Corey out here in the sick puppy. Corey was having a little bit of a pedal in the 1.6 class at Yarrawonga and...
Fly.
We're going to say that just yet. We're going to wait for the weekend. We'll pump him up, but
Sorry, Paul, but I've already had a crack at him this morning.
I was the one that strapped him in, and I said to him before he did it, I said, mate, the wind up that back chute is pretty bad. He goes, don't worry, Grant Harrison told me he could never blow one of these over. And so it's all Grant's fault.
I'll tell you, he is one of the most exciting young guys in our sport. And he, of course, was the youngest Australian person to win the 5.2 litre category of the Australian Championship. He's got a fair pedigree to go up against. Of course, Troy drives Madness in the forced induction races. He also races the hydroplane Warlord, who we saw at Yarrawonga. He's a UIM world record holder. So I tell you, if this young kid could be a third as good as his old man, it's going to be an awesome effort by the time he's 25.
He's building a fantastic reputation, and he's been driving this boat very, very well indeed. So it'll be really interesting to see. And the last one out will be Ryan McIntosh in the very, very impressive lock and load. Who'll be the next one out after we've seen the good run from Corey Marlin.
And looking at him down there at the moment, Paul, he is locked and loaded in there. The hood is on the canopy. He is good to go. So we really just need to run this one, and then we're into the last one.
Or I can already see one of our forced induction boats, and that is Les Smith in Mad Dog, all the way over the Nullarbor from Perth, Western Australia. And a big shout out to all of our West Australian Speedboat Club members who I know are dialed in through GP Hydro live streaming. G'day guys, you're missing out on a fantastic race meeting over here at the Mildura Skiing Club, brought to you by the Melbourne Runabout and Speedboat Club. As we wait for Sick Puppy to get into the course proper, as I said, one of the most exciting prospects in Australian powerboat racing. This kid knows one speed only, 100%. You can see the amount of speed that he had through turn number one. Settles the boat beautifully. Look at that. Very, very quick run down the back straight to run Corey Marlin in Sick Puppy. Let's see whether he can replicate it again. Holds the throttle, keeps it nice and close up against the pins.
Good.
So this is going to be a quick one.
That's going to be another fast one, boys, by the look of it. That into that first turn, and then the way he gathered speed down there and how tight he came off those boys down the bottom there, this is going to be a crack of time to have a look at.
We got the news through.
Here it is. The 33-1 by the look of it, guys. For the Sick Puppy with Corey Marlin, 33-1, brilliant run. Look at this, locked and loaded. Last chance to crack the 33-1 today for us here this afternoon.
Yeah, so our calculations, Corey Marlin goes to the top by 0.2 of a second.
Correct.
Rastus. So great effort, as we said, one of the most exciting prospects in Australian powerboat racing. And he's going to be one to keep an eye on, not only this weekend at the Sunraysia Spectacular, but any race that Corey Marlin enters. Of course, the guys come down from the Gold Coast. can see Troy on the back of the trailer there just giving his opinion of turn number 2. And we saw the boat just come out of the water just a fraction, but overall a fantastic effort there by the Marlin family. Sick puppy, Corey Marlin.
If you can have a look now, nice gentle pace down the back straight there to keep the water flat as he heads off up into the top corner.
See the guy coming, or you can see the waves coming across. That's from Corey coming back in, so that's another thing that you've got to deal with. It's great that we've got the sand over the other side there. It seems to be absorbing most of the wake and stopping it from coming back out again for a second time across the course.
Thank you must go this weekend to the team at Land Transport, the national freight company that was founded back in 1984, and they provide general, bulk and specialised transport solutions. With over 350 vehicles and a strong network of depots, Land Transport is known for their professionalism and reliability, and has gone above and beyond in supporting logistics for this year's event. Thank you so much to the team at Land Transport for your involvement here as supporting sponsor this weekend.
Great effort from Land Transport. They haven't been around the sport for too long, but I tell you what, they have made an impact. And I don't know whether you've seen any of the merch that's out there, guys. Some of the most colourful merch that you'll see, and you can definitely see in the crowd who is a JD Land or McKinley Land follower. Great, just sensational merch. And while we're on the subject of merch, don't forget to have a look around the precinct. There's a lot of people selling some merch, and of course all of our food and drink vendors over the back there. The bar has been open now for a couple of hours. I've been able to keep Paul and John away from there so far. So far so good. It's nice and warm up here. I think we might all head down there at the conclusion of play today before we head over to the show and shine.
Right, I think it is a wonderful time for a cold bevy. There you go. So if you're out there and you haven't got a cold bevy in your hand, head to the bar right now. Plenty of coldies ready to go. It sounds almost too good to be true, Vaughan. We could nearly be there, but that would make it even more colourful commentary, wouldn't it? Maybe they should have a class for that.
Oh, I can see Brett Shepherd heading into the water now. So our first two, that'll be 14 and 13 in the water for our forced induction hot laps coming up very, very shortly here. One more boat to go in this one.
Running off the back end of the bank to try and keep the waves down at the top there as he comes down through the centre. Our last of the boats today, locked and loaded this time. Nice tight run down the inside past the ski club building. Nice tight turn. Let's have a look at him at the back end of the circuit now. Nice flat water, flat acceleration. This is a great run, boys. If he can gather this up of the two boys at the back end here, keep a nice tight turn and carry the speed in, which is what he's doing. And on the pedal on the way back, again another fast one. Don't know whether he'll crack that 33.1. Let's have a look. As the locked and loaded drops its time on the deck, let's have a look.
Well, let's see whether he's got the horsepower, because he's certainly got the boat handling beautifully across the top of the water. First run down to turn number 1. What's it, Paul? 34. Yep, a third.
Don't think Vaughany's got enough in it to eclipse the 33.1 set earlier, but still will be a very respectable time.
So that is all of our Kavanagh Auto Parts National Drivers Championship hot laps for our 6-litre category. We're going to take a very short break. We'll be back with hot laps for the Battery World National Drivers Championship here at the Sunraysia Spectacular, brought to you by the Melbourne Runabout and Speedboat Club and the Mildura Ski Club. Stick around.
Making his way down now into turn number 1. Quite a good little start for him there. Test. All right, first one out onto the track at the moment is the Mad Dog.
All right, Paul, this is Les Smith. As I said, all the way over from the Perth Club, the West Australian Speedboat Club. As I said, I know that a lot of members back there in Perth, they'll be tuned into GP Hydro live streaming to watch this one.
Western Australia, tell us a little bit about the Western Australian Speedboat Club.
We are based right next door to Optus Oval, the big football and cricket ground. In the background, it's a very picturesque racetrack, of course, on the Swan River. It does roughen up a little bit more than what we see here on the Murray River or Yarrawonga. It's prone to what we call the Fremantle Doctor, the big sea breeze that comes in the summertime in the afternoon. But a very picturesque racetrack if you're ever over in the west. Boat Club right at the Burswood Casino and Optus Oval. And for those people that follow motorsport, it's where our government at the moment are looking at hosting a V8 supercar race through the streets, right out at the front door of the West Australian Speedboat Club.
Exciting if that would happen, and you could do boat racing in between the cars and get the crowd to come down and watch the boats instead. Fortunately,
there's a lot of dispute and a lot of disagreement happening at the moment. The local residents are not happy about it at all. What will be, will be. And as we turn our eyes towards the left-hand side of the circuit, himself, Les Smith.
Les is firing it up the back right away now. Plenty of ruppies coming out of the first turn indeed. Boat is sitting quite nicely as he heads into turn number 2. The Mad Dog now from Western Australia lines it up here now. It's a one lap, one chance. It's a little bit loose coming out of turn number 2. We've got a bit of time. About a 33 we think. So spent a little bit of time pulling some RPM and not going in the
Yeah, it looks like they're running a fairly safe tune in that boat at the moment. But Les will improve on that with his engine management person in Anthony Bertoli and Chris Dravitt. So hopefully the boys will be able to turn that around. I'd say they're just being a little bit conservative at the moment. Weekend at the Sunraysia. But driving unleashed.
Just waiting for an official time to come through on Les Smith and the Mad Dog. But welcome back to the track. It is Brett Shepherd in the Unleashed. He is an absolute crowd favourite, Brett Shepherd in the Unleashed. One of my all-time favourites. He's a super nice guy, super fast driver. And it's welcome back to the NDC for Brett Shepherd in the Unleashed. He will definitely be one of the absolute favourites this weekend.
For a while.
Well, Brett Shepherd out there waiting for his shot. Vaughan to come down and give what he needs to give in this one today for the fast laps.
They're certainly not short on horsepower, is this Unleashed.
The row on that coming down now, the howl is unmistakable.
In here. So he'll be looking for a good win again. As he comes across the line, driver number 2 for the Battery World National Drivers Championship as he heads down into turn number 1. Fucking around, gets it right out of the water on the exit of turn number 1. Is there as it goes down into turn number 2. Now pops it now out of the comes across the line. Mad Dog 33.2 and a Brett Shepherd in Unleashed 30.9 is the benchmark after 2 runners. Drivers Championship hot lap session. Dennis Pasala out on the circuit next, always pumping. Twin turbocharged V8.
So Vaughan, a beautiful day down here for a Friday, a fast Friday here at the Mildura Ski Club grounds. What a spectacular venue to have an event like this at. I mean, it's beautiful to see everything close on the water, the grassed areas, the sand-barred foreface. It's beautiful.
It certainly is. A first-time visitor here for me, and I'm super impressed with the Mildura Ski Club. I can see that everybody's done a lot of work in preparation for this event, and I'm sure it's going to pay off with some good crowds over the week.
Trust me, it took a lot of work from a lot of people to reclaim this. Back in the floods were here, high water in Mildura here, all of this, including out the back, was underwater. So you can only imagine what that looked like between the members of the ski club and all of their valued sponsors that got behind it and backed it all. Just a great way to lay it out behind us. So all yours for the weekend.
Fantastic effort by everybody here. Dennis Pasala, always pumping the twin turbocharged V8 that heads down. That's on the way down into turn number 1. So we'll wait and see now as he unloads. It gets it right out. There's our big bunny hops. Now he's got it settled. That's going to cost him big time. This one will be out in the 34s, 30, maybe even the 36s. He's backed it right down on the exit or entry into turn number 2. Comes out really wide again, and again, oh, it's got some bad manners, as always pumping. It comes across the finish line. And Dennis will not be happy with that one.
Yeah, guys, we've had a set of car keys handed in to the bar. If you can tell us what those keys are, and they are yours, you can pick them up from the bar.
No, we're just waiting for some times to come through at 37.2, and that was a pretty loose drive there by Dennis in the always pumping machine. He come down in the straight after the start-finish line, got the death wobbles up, and then just too much power going through, and just couldn't control the power down through the turn. So a 37.2 is probably reflective of the trying conditions there. He was trying to handle the boat, but wasn't responding. It wasn't behaving at all for him. So
no, definitely not. It was a very angry boat, and like coming out of turn number 1 there, it started bunny hopping. You could see everything from the bow to the stern and the drive shaft as well. So get that sorted out, I'm sure.
He should consider some sponsorship underneath the boat there, I think, because he would have had some good signage there for sure. They're always pumping. So no, it's good to see Dennis back, and hopefully he can get those handling issues under control.
longer earlier in the year, and they had they corrected the gearbox issues for the rest of the weekend. So it was a weekend to forget for Dennis.
You guys have got some really good news. Apparently the coffee van is running right now, so if anyone wants a coffee, they can go and see them. But I've got some even better news. 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, the coffee van will be going. So anyone wants brekkie early in the morning and a hot cup of coffee to go with it, 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, they'll be active and running from tomorrow and Sunday. How's that sound?
We were just talking about all of the members' work that has gone on to get this club in order for this weekend. Our big shout out to all of our volunteers here this weekend as well. And do what we love. This is Dave Saddle.
Out on the track now is the Titan of Adelaide, and of course he's a Mr. Consistency. He's got almost the fastest boat out on the track. He's very, very consistent, puts in a lot of good runs, finishes every heat that he goes in, so hopefully I haven't put the moz on him. But it's David Saddle, the Titan, doing very well indeed. He loves the National Drivers' Championship, and he's going to put in a quick national title now. Some points.
Okay, all the way from Yarrawonga in Victoria, it's Mikey J driving the Addicted in the Gold Coast at Lockyer a few months ago. Professionals time. He's put together a package which is really, as I said, the guys that have been doing it for a lot longer. See whether he can replicate what he did. The Queensland round of the National Drivers' Championship. And you can see Paul in practice. Engine. We're going to help it.
Hurry yet too much at all. It'll, I think it did break the cowling this morning. I think it was clipped in and it actually snapped out. So a bit of a shame for Michael Johnson, because it is a beautifully presented machine. We just got through David Satterley in the Titan, 38.5, and David, he goes around. He's more about the start than the finish, picking up the point.
Oh, definitely.
A little bit of a different approach, but good run.
You know, that approach can actually pay off, because as we said, every time you come out behind the wheel of one of these forced induction boats, championship, can we have all of our X100s to the boat ramp? So, from Yarrawonga, 4x4.
It's a good time here, making some good corner, a little bit wide through there, for some better water as he sits it up there very nicely. Now off by one, so we'll see what officially comes through.
That boat looked fast, very, very fast.
BNR Engines machine going out to have his run. Just waiting for confirmation now of the time.
There's still no time through for Mikey J at the moment.
Stating it now, it's there, 33.6, ladies and gentlemen. So 33.6 for Michael Johnson.
And we are out because Odin should have been the next boat out, the Constable Brothers Racing Team. Just having a look back and I don't see them. So they're running a brand new deal again this weekend. They had a few issues down in Windsor. A few other bits and pieces not playing the game. Hopefully everything is okay for CBR, the Constable Brothers Racing Team, and Odin 510.
We've got Brett Shepherd still at the top of the tree with a 30.9, showing the way quite clearly. 3.2, and Mikey Johnson in the 33.6, I think I just had. But his race secretary just overriding me at the second, so I'm just having a look, but we'll just confirm that. And engines, machines out there at the moment. Of course, including his own, very, very busy boy, and puts together an extremely good package. Drives hydroplanes, displacements, and he's been doing the displacements now for the last couple of years, doing a fantastic job.
Motors, he does sprint car engines, burnout cars. Doesn't seem right as it gets down into turn number one. Let's see what he can do down the back straight for the first and final time. Road sitting. You hear him feathering the throttle, the idle up and keep that momentum. Can he keep it in the walk? Now he's throwing the front end. Brett Nidri goes across the line. Just give it a couple of seconds. Next out on the water from Queensland, McIntyre and Mayhem. Not one of our family-orientated teams, with Royce and his father putting a lot of time and effort into this boat and just making gradual improvements and creeping up onto it, but certainly he's learning a lot as he goes. Had a fairly rough time down there in Windsor a couple of weekends ago, but a good run up there at the Gold Coast for round number 2.
Is the Mayhem of Royce McIntyre. Royce is fairly new to this boat, and he's been doing an absolutely magnificent job of dribbling it, getting faster and faster every meet he goes out in, and doing a really good job of running in the National Drivers' Championship. So it's Royce McIntyre in the Mayhem machine.
Looks like the addicted boat there, 33.6. With Michael Johnson. And the 34.5 by the look of it for the B&R Engines boat, Brett Nidri. The 34.5, guys. Pretty solid time there. Certainly not in the 33s, but a solid time just the same from the B&R Engines group.
And Royce doing exactly what we saw the X100s and the 6-litre boys doing a couple of circles down there in the milling area, giving the race course a chance to settle. And while we've got a quick chance, we can have a look down towards in front of our commentary box, and that the Barnyard Dog is making its way out onto the circuit. That is our official start boat for the Sunraysia Spectacular, of course driven by Barney Patterson. A V10 400 Mercury on the back of that boat. It's full of horsepower, built by Simon Isherwood in Race Marine. And it's a very, very tidy boat. Royce McIntyre got a bit of the porpoising happening already before he gets to the start-finish line. Now he's held it around. They're running a LS motor on board this. Good exit out of turn number 1. Then he gets a double slap. The boat cleaned out as he comes down the back straight, tries to keep some throttle in. He's right out of the throttle on the entry. But for turn number 2, this is Mayhem and Royce McIntyre.
Another very solid looking pass there for that boat. Let's wait and see how the Mayhem goes in this one. The 36 on the knocker, so certainly not the fastest, but pretty solid time.
Yeah, I think the guys will be fairly happy with that. That's about where that boat's at the moment. Our next competitor in probably one of the most unusual forced induction boats here this weekend. Brett Ramsey driving what you would normally find in a Toyota Lexus. It's a 2JZ turbocharged engine on board. Very distinctive sound when this boat comes past. Very quick, and he's another newcomer, a debutant to the Battery World National Drivers Championship for 2025, and he's taking it up to the guys. First time we saw him was Yarrawonga. He's been down to Windsor, and now he's here with us today at the Mildura Ski Club. The talks that I've had with Brett, you can see that there's still a lot of development happening with this boat. Still very low on boost, or what they tell me is low on boost. They tell me that there's a lot more to go with this boat, so they're just trying to get a handle on it, take a move forward. Then they have to adapt the boat to that change, because you start getting more horsepower, the boat starts to misbehave, so you've got to equal it out before you take the next step. And it's a gradual learning process, particularly when the boat is fairly brand new as well. And of course, Brett trying to get up to speed with this thing. But how's the noise? I'm going to be quiet. Let's listen to Ravage, the 2JZ Toyota Lexus engine. Skip out of the water is going to cost him. From Brett Ramsey in the Ravage. Just had a very unusual forced induction boat. And you guys are going to be fairly happy in a minute, because we've got a ski racer coming up very shortly. But before him, it's going to be Brent Lewis in Decision out of Queensland.
Solid, pretty solid time for him. Let's wait and see how the Decision goes out on water this time. But a very distinctive sound, Vaughan, like you said, the Toyota note, a lot different. We saw something similar with the Kellys when they started running those Nissan V8 engines as well. Another very similar high-pitched, almost scream coming out of those Japanese-style V8 engines.
Looks like
to return.
Started down here in front of us at the moment. Oh, hatch has gone up, unfortunately. That's not a good sign for Brent. And he's climbing out, so it looks like it may be game over, unfortunately, for Decision. And Brent,
look in the back there for a moment first.
Started all right, but obviously got no drive. So I'm not sure if he's got a clutch in it that pushes it forward, but he's having a quick look there now, so a bit of a shame. This season has been pretty impressive.
Up at the Lockyer round, it was really up there. I think he got into the B main at Lockyer.
He's just giving some advice there to his crew that are giving him some advice.
Just for the record, it's not coming from commentary, right?
Repeat it, but fair to say the crew were just giving a bit of advice and thought he would give some back, so that's good.
Sounds so impressive, that thing.
Let's have a look at who's to come, guys. We've got Scotty Cleaver. He'll be next out in the Supernova, another twin turbocharged V8. And of course, Scotty coming from the ski racing background. Then Destiny with Blake Ramsey. 480 big block Chev on board that. And Connor Patterson making his way into the water at the moment as well. I call it the little boat that can. It's running a very small engine compared to the 470s and the 480s that we see, and of course the Odin 510. This thing's only 372. It's very similar to what used to be run in sprint cars all the way around Australia with a supercharger on it. And Scotty will be in there tuning this thing to the max, trying to get the most out of it as he tries to hunt down the guy that we see coming into the water, the series champion and multiple Battery World National Drivers Championship winner in Tate Ramsey for the Leighton family driving Lay It On. This boat has been the standout of 2025, as was Reckless previous to this boat. Reckless being the smaller 18-footer. Now, thanks to the Leighton family, Tate's been able to step up to a 21-footer. And it's taken him a while. They're still learning, obviously, but he said the difference between the 18-footer compared to the 21-footer, he's been able to get his head around. So obviously we can see that by his results in 2025. It's all on the line this weekend for Lay It On and Tate Ramsey.
Supernova got the gig before all, so let's see what can come there out of the Bay City Marine sponsored Supernova. It's like the Supernova, Paul, is on water and away. Let's keep an eye on it now. As it heads away from us. Scotty Cleaver out to do the business in the Supernova.
It is made the change from ski racing across. Bought the Robert Pasala machine that has taken Robert Pasala to many victories, including a Milton Gold Cup. And yeah, he's been now doing a lot of laps in this particular boat and getting faster and faster every outing, and he's proving it up with some magnificent points in the National Drivers' Championship as well.
All-round good guy, Scotty Cleaver. Just loves his competition, wants to get out there and do something. And as we said earlier, with a lot of ski racing hiatus going on at the moment, a lot of the guys are now looking at shifting across to some form of competition that they can run in. This circuit racing's delivered that for Scotty Cleaver, and here we are with the Supernova.
Very well presented team. The boat looks magnificent. It's got some new stickers on it. That's new livery, so it's looking very good. He's, as I said, he's coming up to speed. I think it's his sort of first season full time into the National Drivers' Championship, picking up points everywhere he goes and getting more experience. And he will definitely be at the pointy end of the field for this weekend's racing.
It's the ex-Rob Pasala boat, the Duggan Engineering boat, and Scotty's taken to this circuit racing like a duck to water.
And he's a good all-round nice guy too, you know, like all he wants to do is compete, but he's a very, very focused competitor, right? There's no doubt about it. Scott's a very systematic guy, very direct about making sure everything is clean and where it needs to be, and absolutely shiny as to go into the event. So let's keep an eye on Supernova now as they come down towards the green flag. I can see him running off a little bit to the wide. That's probably to keep the to wake away. Although he's not coming up to speed like we'd expect, Vaughan.
Looks like there may be an issue on board the Supernova. Of course, running fourth in our points for 2025. So that's going to put him right behind the 8 ball for our heat races coming up this afternoon. And there goes the hatch, so it's all over. The Cleaver and the team, it's all over.
Something obviously occurred up in that warm-up period up the top there.
Oh, you may have seen something on the dashboard that he didn't agree with. Of course, there's so many sensors on board these boats, and they get warning systems coming up in front of them. So, yeah, he gave it a kick in the guts, and it did about 3.5 revolutions and stopped again. So, unfortunately, for our 4th runner at the moment, as far as the Battery World National Drivers' Championship, he'll be starting out wide in one of his heat races.
Okay, Vaughan, big shout out to our volunteers today. As you can see, a number of guys going out in boats to retrieve things, and the guys down on the ramp here are doing an amazing job shuffling boats in and out. A dedicated pit area here at the Mildura Ski Club, which means we get an opportunity to park the boats up in the back area, but we have to shuttle them backwards and forwards on this beautiful slipway that we've got here, and the guys using the Manitous and whatever else to do that with, and it's just an endless procession of boats going in and out in trailers, guys. So big hats off to each and every one of you down there doing the job to help move things along tidily and keep everything on time for us, guys.
A little bit of a delay while we pick up the Supernova, and that means that we can cast our eyes out to Lay It On. He will be next. Tate Ramsey from Durham Transport was running for the Leighton family in Lay It On. And we've also got Blake sitting down there as well in Destiny, of course, that's Tate's brother. So it looks like Destiny will go first, and then I think we'll finish off with Lay It On, as he is the current point score leader. And of course, we can't disfigure Connor Patterson out there in Turn It Up as well. He's still to come.
The Turn It Up machine with Connor Patterson is renowned for taking the fastest time in the National Drivers' Championship this year and last year as well. He is a 1-lap specialist, as well as putting together 4 good laps or 3 good laps in the racing itself. And that's why he's sitting second on the table, just behind Tate Ramsey and Lay It On. And both these two guys will be going as hard as, along with Destiny, because all 3 are in contention for this championship.
Well, it looks like a lot of clapping going on down in the decision camp. I'd say by the look of the helmet going on the driver there that they may well have found whatever the issue is down there. So,
like Craig's heading back now, so looks like they may have found that issue. So hopefully we can get decision back out on the water. We have seen this before where somebody has left the dock, fired the engine.
Anything occur again?
Under the rules of the National Drivers' Championship, once you have fired the engine out on the water, if it dies and you come back in, you're not allowed to restart. So unfortunately, we saw that happen to Mark Gauci last year. Realised that one of his seatbelts wasn't done up properly, so he turned around and came back in. Because he stopped the motor, it was later on determined that that exceeded the rules. So yeah, all rules have been changed now. It's in black and white. And
well, I must say, Vaughan, the decision team were pretty happy by the look of it, and of whatever the result was that Craig had managed to do down there. So guys look like they're strapped in, ready to roll. So I would say once they get that decision thing fired up, that we will definitely see that thing howling out on circuit shortly. And it'll be good to see, right?
Definitely. He had a great run up there at Lockyer on Lake Dyer. Of course, he is from Queensland. It's his local track, local club. And a big shout out to Stuart Artie, who's here today from Artie Rule Services, the Commodore of the Powerboat Club up there in Queensland, the Gold Coast Powerboat and Sports Club. Good to catch up with Stuart again. Put on a fantastic show. It was the first time that we'd ventured with the Battery World National Drivers' Championship up to Queensland. And those guys up there, they put on one professional show. And what makes it all the more impressive is they have a single lane boat ramp up there. There were no delays throughout the day. It was like clockwork all day.
What effort when you think about how many guys are shuttling in and out. Here, luckily, we've got 3 lanes we can work from that are active down there, and our guys are shuttling them in and out pretty well. But on a single lane, that is an exceptional effort.
Just see down in front of our commentary box, Chris Palmer, the driver of Outlaw from Tasmania. Welcome, Chris. Good to see you've made the haul up from Tasmania for this weekend. And, of course, looking forward to seeing the world's best at the Berry Racetrack coming up in Australia Day. But we are back up and running with Brent Lewis in Decision from the Gold Coast Sports Club.
All right, so Brent Lewis heading up. Good to see it fired up. We'll let the officials work it out whether or not it's going to be legal or not. That's not for us to determine, so we'll work that one out.
Oh, he's straight into it too. He's not going up to the milling area. He wants to get on with it.
Going pedal too hard here. Is he going to flat it out or is he just...
The boat is not playing the game at the moment, but you must get through this hot lap. That's it. It's all about the points.
14th out of the 14. It's all about the points. So he'll get his 1 lap in. Probably run the 14th, but pick up 14th place points. And we'll get the point sheet for you tomorrow. We'll run through all of that as the day unfolds. We'll give you what the heat points look like, what the pole position times look like, and also the points going in for the finals of the series, the Battery World NDC.
Okay, so we don't know about this one. We'll leave this in the hands of our National Drivers' Championship officials.
You can speculate. Let's let them officiate.
He's basically done half the circuit and decided to head up to the milling area. So let's see what happens here. But he was definitely not on the gas at all last time through. Just completing the first of the 360s up there. So Brent Lewis in Decision. He'd want to think about starting to come back towards the green flag here, and now he does. He straightens the boat up. Skirts down the side of the magnificent Murray River. Here in building the revs and the big supercharged motor. Green flag is on display. He enters the circuit proper. Very quick in a straight line. What can he do through the corners here? He washes himself out there on the exit of turn number 1. And again, the boat handling beautifully down the back straight. Gotta try and hold the momentum through this corner. Keeps some throttle into it. Hard up against the pins on the exit of turn number 2. Lets the boat drift to the driver's right-hand side. This is going to be a quick time. Brent Lewis.
Well, pretty last time there, by Brett Lewis, the decision, a 30.6. A 30.6 for Brett Lewis in decision. That moves us into position number 2 behind Brett Shepherd with, it actually puts him into first position in front of Brett Shepherd with a 30.9. That was a 30.6.
Wow, 0.3 of a second difference between Shepherd and Lewis. So again, we've seen this time and time again with the Bachelor World National Drivers' Championship, that hot lapping comes down to point something of a second. Up there at Yarrawonga, at Laidley, I think the top 4 were separated by 0.3 of a second. It's very close.
Brent Lewis, by the look of it, is going to go up a little further there and wait for this to settle off a bit. You can see some of the ripple coming across as we look now out from that outer edge. Not too bad, to be honest with you, Vaughan. It flattens off pretty well here in front of the ski club, but if I was Brent, I'll be doing exactly the same thing. I'll be heading up that way to make sure that everything flattens off before I come back.
John, anything at 130, 140 mile an hour, if it's not dead flat, you're going to feel it.
Oh, trust me, we same deal. When we run them back here for the Mildura 100, everything's got to be flat as, so it is what it is. But we'll wait for Blake to come back now and see what he can drop on the table. I'm expecting it to be a pretty solid time from this camp as well, hey?
Destiny doing another 360 up there in the milling area. But John, is this weather, is this like conditional to this time of year?
Absolutely. It's like this pretty much most times of the year. And actual fact, studies have shown quite clearly we get more sunshine hours here in Mildura than they get up on the Queensland Gold Coast. So it's pretty amazing. It's a great place to live, a brilliant place to for water sports and for anything really. I mean, you've only got to look at the region with the Kelly brothers that came out of here to race, the Lamatinas in Top Fuel. I mean, see those guys in supercars, and Darren Morgan Top Fuel, Cameron Waters currently in the V8 supercar category.
And Crump as well in Speedway.
Johnny Hedricks with the Safari, Australian Safari, a number of others. So this region builds some very, very good competitors. But what's not to love about this place, to be honest?
Hey, mate, why are we getting a lot of motorsport championships champions out of Mildura?
To be honest with you, I think it's the isolation. We have to make sure we're self-sufficient here. We can't go anywhere to do anything other than do it ourselves here, so we're very clear on what we do here. But, hey, listen, let's not take it away from what's here. Let's watch Blake out here ready to roll, hey?
Okay, Blake Ramsey now up the back straight in the Destiny machine. Has it up quite nicely. Charles Blake running 18.4, 480 of raw power. Blake is running in third place in the championship at the moment. It's looking very, very fast indeed. Comes out now, heads towards the crowd here as he's slowly got it. Could be about a 30, high 30 to low 31, I believe.
Man, oh man, has that thing got some mumbo. Do you see the way it came out of that bottom turn? It literally stood up and just bulleted itself down here.
Just waiting now for it to come through. A 31.7, ladies and gentlemen, a 31.7.
That's a good effort.
Into third position at the moment. So 31.7 for Blake Ramsey in Destiny. With Connor Patterson. As I said, Connor is renowned for his one laps. He's very, very fast indeed. So Connor will be looking to replicate that and try to get on top of the podium.
And you know, Vaughan, that doesn't surprise me. It does not surprise me. The way that thing stood up coming out of that turn, and he literally wrung it by the neck and drove it home, mate. That does not surprise me at all.
A limited time in speedboat racing, there's two ways of driving a boat. Nice and smooth, like Troy Marlin does. Comes out of the corner and it doesn't jump out of the water. Or there's the way that Connor Patterson drives, which you're going to see in a moment. This little Evercraft, this 18, I think it's an 18.6 Evercraft, he is so aggressive getting this little boat into the corners, and then he stands it up on the cab plate and drives it out. As we said earlier, he's got a smaller engine than everybody else. Blake just ran a 480 cubic inch. We've got a 372 out there at the moment, but it's the aggression of Connor Patterson that's really worth keeping an eye on.
I think the analogy that I could put to that one is, you know, if you talk about high capacity engines and the like, you know, 500cc dirt bikes, you'd ride them with respect. 250s, you'd use them like an oversized BMX bike. So to your point, you know, there's probably a little bit less weight in this package, but he will drive it like he stole the thing, and the results will stand for themselves, I'd say, Vaughan.
Bit of research over the difference between the Evercraft and the Child's Play. Like these Evercraft, you can turn them in. Child's Play like to almost hydroplane.
Yeah, so he'll take that to his advantage, right? He'll drive it aggressively, tip it in and turn it. It'll be interesting to see on that last turn off that last buoy, Vaughan, how he'll play that on the way home for that very last straight back to pick up the timing loop. So come watch this.
To the sound of a 372, a little small block cab. Turn it up.
As he tips it in hard into the bottom corner now. He's still running pretty hard now as he stands on it. It's got a good power down. It's come on very, very nicely indeed. Off my phone for that particular one, but it did look very, very smooth and impressive.
Be all eyes on the stopwatch at the moment. We'll wait and see what Turn It Up has in store as our current points leader.
31.1. So that moves him into third on the table.
31.1, 31.1, which is the position number one. Behind him, 30.9 for Shepherd.
So Brent Lewis is holding out currently, Unleashed, and then into third at the moment is Connor Patterson with a 30.1. We have Brett Shepherd with a 30.9, and in pole position currently, subject to lay it on, with Tate Ramsey behind the wheel, we have a 30.6 to decision. So plenty going on. It's very, very tight at the top of the tree.
Going back a few months ago up at Lake Dyer in Queensland, Tate, by his own admissions, didn't get it right in hot laps. Made him, I think he was down in fourth, which is a long way out of where he should be. But he made life hard for himself, but still came back, fought through the heats, ended up taking the round win. Connor Patterson, took the round win, but because Tate won the last race of the day, that is the round win for the National Drivers' Championship. So he'd be hoping for a pretty good result here this weekend. Of course, he is our current points champion or points leader and multiple Battery World National Drivers' Championship, plus all the other things that Tate Ramsey has done in Reckless. As I said, a new package for 2025. Thanks to the Leighton family, we've stepped it up from an 18-footer to a 21-foot Child's Play. And of course, sponsored by Lucas Oils.
And of course, after this particular race, we've got some hot lap. We've got 3 X100 races and 2 6-litre races to follow before the close of the day. So yes, we're going to talk to Lucas Oils because they're coming from New Zealand to come and talk to us. But we'll do that after we've seen the run. There seems to be Lucas Oil shirts everywhere up here.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the main runner, one of the main runners for Lucas Oil, Mark Gauci, unable to be here this weekend. Of course, the Immortal, and we wish Mark all the best. And we'll hopefully see him back in 2026 as Lay It On for Durham Transport our current National Drivers' Championship point score leader.
So heads up the back straight now, gets the power down quite nicely. A little bit slower through the turn now, but finishing up the back straight now. It's late on, he's off a little bit off the pace here, I think, at the moment, as he heads down into turn number 2. Probably a little bit off at the minute. He's got the bar wheel power down nicely now, but I don't think he's going to be good enough time to get in a 31 off my clock, but we'll soon see. A little bit slow through turn number 1, I think. Just didn't quite get that one right, but got the power down nicely out of turn number 2. So we're still waiting now for the official words to come through.
Tate Ramsey, a 31.3. 31.3 for Tate Ramsey.
In front of Connor Patterson with a, oh, hang on, no. 2/10 slower, so it's to Connor at 31.1, Tate Ramsey 31.3. We have Brett Shepard at a 30.9, and Brent Lewis on pole one of our decision 30.6. Some impressive times, so well done to the guys there.
Wow. That is a great effort from Tate Ramsey there, a 31.3. To take nothing away from Brett Shepard, a 30.9, certainly set the pace for this one this weekend.
And got it done early too. He was the second boat out on the water. And yeah.
Well, hot laps being conducted. Mark Gatchie is actually here. He's standing right behind us. So Mark, come on over and say hello to us. So Mark, might need to grab Vaughny's microphone there. Not here this weekend, unfortunately. How did you see the hot laps just play out then?
Yeah, look, there's a lot of different driving styles out there. The bigger boats and the smaller boats. I've got a certain driving style. It's a bit different to probably a lot of other guys out there. But look, the boats were fast. Shepard looked quick. I noticed with Shepard, his entry into the corner was fast. And out as equally as quick. So I think where Shepard got it was his entry into the corner. There was a few other guys, they sort of, you lose time with that.
Yeah, so just talk to us a little bit about the different driving styles. So what's your preferred method when you're out there?
Look, my driving style is different to racing. The lines are completely different in the hot laps. I generally try and keep it just a little bit wider, but I don't really go for the prop slip. I go for the boat speed. Drive it as hard as the boat speed up, and I find it's easier and get quicker out of the corner.
And coming out of the corner, just for people at home or people on the bank that never driven one or don't understand it, and how do you actually control it? What's your style coming out of the corner itself to control it? Because we do see a lot of times in the displacements, too much horsepower, it just can't control the attitude of the boat.
Like I said, the corners, I just try to keep that propeller speed up, and it just hooks up easier. If you pop it out of the corner, well, it's game over. So you really have to keep it smooth, but you have to be aggressive at the same time. So you've got to concentrate. Your concentration span's incredible, but you've got to nail the entry.
And Mark, what's on the agenda now for the Immortal team coming into the new season, coming up into the year?
I've got a couple of medical issues that I'm dealing with at the moment, so I'm out. I missed the last round at Windsor, and obviously this round here. So we'll see what the medics say, and hopefully we can get back soon.
Oh, we love watching your race, mate. So hopefully everything's all right in that department. The National Drivers' Championship, how have you seen it? It just seems to be such a fantastic thing for the boat racing on 7 Mate, 7 Plus, driving some sponsorship, including your great sponsors yourself, and you can give them a plug all you like, mate.
Power Excavations and Lucas Oils, obviously Brett from BNR Engines that help us out, Sheridan Building, working on it. It just helps with the sponsors because they get so much more exposure on TV. And it's amazing how many people you see that say, look, we saw you on TV, which would never have happened, 3 or 4 years ago. So the exposure's fantastic, and people can look at it on 7 Plus, and they can look at it, whenever they want, and it's easy to find. So yeah.
And from your experience, mate, give us a quick tip. Who's your winner this weekend? I know there's a lot of racing, but let's just go with the winner of the displacements.
I think it's going to come down to, look, the tracks, it's not about size. I think it's going to come down to horsepower. So I think it's a big block weekend. And I think it's going to come down between Tate and Shepherd. It's going to be interesting because hot laps are completely different to racing, completely different ball game. So it depends on what pole you get. There's a lot of factors between Tate and Shepherd. And I think, yeah, you need the speed on this.
Immortal, thank you, Mark Archie from Immortal. Thank you very much for your time. Hope everything's going well for you, because we love watching you race, and love to see you out there again.
Well, guys, we'll take a very small break while we do a quick swap over, and we'll be back very shortly. Crack that 33-1. Let's have a look. As the locked and loaded drops its time on the deck, let's have a look.
Well, let's see whether he's got the horsepower, because he's certainly got the boat handling beautifully across the top of the water. First run down to turn number 1. What's it, Paul? 34. Yeah, a third.
Don't think Vaughan's got enough in it to eclipse the 33-1 set earlier, but still will be a very respectable time.
So that is all of our Kavanagh Auto Parts National Drivers Championship hot laps for our 6-litre category. We're going to take a very short break. We'll be back with hot laps for the Battery World National Drivers Championship here at the Sunraysia Spectacular, brought to you by the Melbourne Runabout and Speedboat Club and the Mildura Ski Club. Stick around. Time. He's put together a package which is really, as I said, the guys that have been doing it for a lot longer. See whether he can replicate what he did. The Queensland round of the National Drivers Championship. And you can see Paul putting in practice. Engine, we're going to help it.
Hurry it too much at all. It'll, I think it did break the cowling this morning. I think it was clicked in and it actually snapped out. So a bit of a shame for Michael Johnson, because it is a beautifully presented machine. We just got through David Satterley in the Titan 38.5, and David, he goes around. He's more about the start and the finish, picking up the point.
Oh, definitely.
A little bit of a different approach, but good run.
You know, that approach can actually pay off, because as we said, every time you come out behind the wheel of one of these forced induction boats, championship, can we have all of our X100s to the boat ramp? So, from Yarrawonga, 4x4.
Off my one, so we'll see what officially comes through.
That boat looked fast, very, very fast.
BNR Engines machine going out to have his run. Just waiting for confirmation now of the time.
So still no time through for Mikey J at the moment.
Updating it now, we see 33.6, ladies and gentlemen. So 33.6 for Michael Johnson.
And we are out because Odin should have been the next boat out, the Constable Brothers Racing Team. Just having a look back and I don't see them. So they're running a brand new deal again this weekend. They had a few issues down in Windsor. A few other bits and pieces not playing the game. Hopefully everything is okay for
Welcome back. Welcome back. Yes, hello. Hello. Welcome back to Mildura Ski Club for the Sunraysia Spectacular for 2025.
Well, we're back on air and we do apologise for some. We've just changed over our microphone system, so hopefully we'll be a little bit better off for this afternoon's X100 racing.
PC, our boats are up in the milling at the moment. It looks like we've got 5 in this one. As a pickup, it's going to be Moonshine, Mike, fastest time in our laps. Then it's about time, Matt Smith out of the Adelaide Club. Sinister 4, Scott Knudsen, and Excalibur, Chris Dynan. And as you pointed out a while ago when Chris walked past, it was all smiles and ready to go.
Yes, indeed, and hello, we're back on board. So I do apologise, ladies and gentlemen, we've had a few microphone issues, but we've just pulled the whole system out, replugged it in, reset it, and hopefully we sound a lot more crisper.
Tell the truth, we had a couple of coldies. No, we didn't. Money job. It's the right weather for it, though.
It's
You
almost
might have been
time
joking.
for it. It's almost time for it.
Speaking
So,
of which, cool under fire. These guys are ready to roll in our next lot of senior racing in the X100s, guys. Looking pretty solid out there for what's about to unfold.
Certainly is, as they've gone right up and around the corner this time. We've actually can't see a powerboat out on the water at the moment. So Barney Patterson in the Junkyard Dog, or Barnyard Dog, he's taking them right away around the corner to get them lined up. They'll head back towards the circuit proper and we will go racing. As we said, Mike Godsell on pole 1 in Moonshine. About time, Matt Smith on pole 2. Sinister 4, Scott Knudsen out of 3. And out of 4, Chris Dynan driving Excalibur.
Yes, Chris is on a provisional licence at the moment. He's coming back to the sport. Oh, he's not licensed to the sport. He's coming back to driving into sport. He's a very prominent member of the Melbourne Runabout and Speedboat Club. So good to see Chris back out there in the Excalibur. So being provisional, he'll have to take pole number 4 in heat number 1 of the X100 Tattoos R Us National Drivers Championship.
And I believe 3 heats in this one, guys. Heat A, B and C. So lots of heats. On the 6 litre we have 2 lots of heats, which we'll get to in a little while. But in the short term.
And 2 rounds of this National Drivers Championship taking place here at the Mildura Ski Club. Brought to you Managing Director, Tattoo Art, Mark Schultz down there in the artist already, as Barney Patterson bringing the field back. Doesn't that look magnificent? 5 boats wide, only 4 are going to race, but it looks mint as they're coming down towards the start line here at the Mildura Ski Club. This is the X100 National Drivers Championship here at the Sunraysia Spectacular.
Is down Vonnie and away they go. It's a really good even start. It looks like Moonshine's just got away a bit there with Mike Godson behind the wheel. And Chris Dynan on the outside, but it looks like pole sitter Mike Godson leads him into turn number 1 in the Moonshine. It's quite competitive out there for 2nd place, 3rd place and 4th place, with about time Matt Smith in the 2nd position. Sinister Scott Constant moving to 3rd. Chris Dynan rounding out the field in the Excalibur.
Into turn number 2 for the first time, Mike Godson, the Victorian Speedboat Club, in a boat called Moonshine, doing it awesomely. A good job at the moment. Comes across and rips number 1. Then we go back to Matt Smith in about time. Sinister 4 taking 3rd place, and our provisional driver, Chris Dynan in Excalibur, has got already halfway down the back straight. Doing a magnificent job in Moonshine.
Yeah, Matt Godson doing a good job up in front now. He's controlling the race about